Hey there, it's Monday, the day after Mother's Day, and just wanted to share my pretty white daisies with you. These were from my younger son who lives about an hour away from me. He's my sweet soul, and got to have lunch with him yesterday, and he gave me some flowers and a gift card and everything. So that made my day really special. We camped this weekend. We got home late yesterday afternoon or about dinner time and came home, and the back door was standing wide open, and we live in the country with just acreage around us with farm crops and stuff like that. It's not our crops, it's other people's crops, but we have a lot of land around us. And we had stayed overnight, and the cat had stayed here because you know how cats are, they're kind of weird and they get traumatized pretty easily. So we left the cat here with food and water and all that good stuff, and got home yesterday and the door was standing wide open, and there was dirty large paw prints all over the deck and our kitchen floor and bathroom floor, and there was brambles in the house, big old thorny branches. So some wild animal or dog or something got into our house and ate all the cat food and dog food and stuff like that we had in the house, but couldn't find the cat anywhere at all. And I was so upset and traumatized and cried all night and everything else, and called for her outside, and I thought for sure she was definitely gone, and woke up this morning and heard her meow, and she was in the house the whole time, hiding in some place that we had not checked out. You know, so cats are very creative with where they hide, and she wasn't in any clear sight or under anything we looked under. She was nowhere to be found. So I have no idea where she hid, but she hid well. So she's safe and sound, and so that made my Mother's Day not so bad after all. But I thought it was not ending very well for a great Mother's Day that had started pretty good. So I'm just really happy, and I had some people praying for me and that kind of thing. So God answers prayers, and my cat is safe. So I just wanted to say thank you, God. I had a few things I wanted to show you. Just to show you, just for the fun of it, this is called a sheet protector. It's like a pocket, and you put a piece of paper inside of it that you want to keep protected. You know, usually people use it for school reports or, you know, things at the office or whatever. This is so great to pour extra paint on because it's flexible. I poured on glass, and glass is great because it's a hard surface, but then you have to scrape it off with a razor blade to get the paint off, and this will just peel off. I peeled this one off earlier and laid it back down, and it stuck on there again. But so as you can see, and I think it folded up too. Sometimes when it folds up you can get it apart, and sometimes you can't. But so like here's the back side of it. So that's what paint, you know, poured onto the surface first, and this is the front side of it. So you can see how there was blue and everything in it, but the only thing that really showed up is the yellow and green and a little bit of turquoise. So here's another piece, and I just wanted to show you, you know, there it is. You just get that paint started and it peels off like a dream. Pretty much, and it's like really super thin paint. But it's pretty much like pulling it off of butcher paper, but it's even easier because this is like a really slick plastic, and so you can pour on this over and over again. The secret would be to have a piece of glass, like this is an 8x10 glass that came out of a picture frame, is to lay your plastic on something that's hard. So when you pour your paint, you can tilt it and all that, because if you pour paint on plastic and you try to tilt it, it's going to bend and everything's going to puddle down to the middle. So if you put this on top of like a cutting board or like a piece of glass or anything that's a tray, anything that's flat and hard, you can pour on this all day long and peel those paint skins off so simply. So I just wanted to point that out as well. So I'm going to move these aside, sticking with my paint skins. And some people will use paint skins on canvas paintings on top of their pours and on top of other canvas paintings. I don't do that because I don't think I would have the patience for it. But I do use acrylic skins for making jewelry. So that's the way I use them. So today I'm going to use Easy Flow by Owatrol. This is a European-based company, and you can only get the product from Owatrol themselves or from Amazon. I think it's on Amazon. This is a liter, and it's not as cheap as Floetrol, but it's the same thing as Floetrol as far as a paint conditioner, but this is what they make in Europe. And it works really well. It's very self-leveling, very smooth, no cracking or crazing that I've ever experienced with it. So that is what I'm going to add to my paints today. And I went to Target, if you're familiar with Target, and they have a, stationery section, craft section, and I purchased a bunch of paints. And I've got a neon group, which I'm going to mix up and do on this video. And then on another video, I'm going to do these really soft colors here, I think. And I may add a little bit deeper brown in. Let me zoom in a little bit. These are 2-ounce bottles, but they're kind of shorter and flatter than like a regular, like DecoArt. Here's a 2-ounce bottle of paint, so you see the difference in the size. It's shorter but fatter, and the paint is a little bit thicker than the DecoArt paint, so I think I'll have to add some water to it. But I wanted to show you these awesome colors. This is called Glitter. They didn't have a paint name color for it, so it's kind of like iridescent, but with a little bit of a khaki goldish background to it. I put it on this piece of, it's like a card, so you kind of see that it has almost like a golden glitter effect to it. So I'm putting this aside. I've got another project. I want to do a mermaid project, and I'm saving it for all my beautiful glittery colors. I'm not using this one in this painting, but this is one of the metallics. These bottles are about $2 at Target, and the specialty paints like the metallics or glitter is $2.50. And this one is called Metallic Steel, so it's like deeper than pewter and way deeper than silver, but it's not like black, so it's like a a dark pewter color, but it's called Metallic Steel. So I'm going to put that aside for a painting where I probably do black and silver and this color, and keep it kind of more monochromatic. So the colors I'm going to use today, this is called Slate, which is a gray color. This one is Pistachio, which is obviously like the pistachio nut color. This one is called Driftwood, which is like a soft, warm brown. I love this one. It's called Light Copper. It's a metallic. And to show you the difference, here is the regular copper, here is the light copper. So you can see the difference in how much, this is more like a penny, the color of a, you know, copper penny. This is lighter. And I have this Shimmer Aqua, which is a pearly aqua color. So I'm going to use that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to use the swipe that I did the other day. Let me zoom back out here. The swipe I did the other day, this is the metallics that I did on black, which I didn't care for, but I had some really great responses to it on Facebook and YouTube. I used copper and gold and a bronze color, and this is called Argent Silver, which is a DecoArt metallic, but it is not like silver. It is more like pearl. So I wanted to show you that. And see, this is, and also people have asked to see the sides of my painting when I finished, and I can't like tilt it and show you when it's wet because then your paint would move and you'd ruin your art. This is a black canvas, and so it's, the black background is uneven. You can see in the reflection there. This is where I added my black. I skim coated the canvas with my black mixture of paint that was like 50-50. But like here on the sides, here's the original black canvas the way I bought it. So it's very matte and dull. And then you get a little bit of shimmer where the black maybe dripped over and it's a little bit shinier. But like, this is the way I leave the paintings. If I do artwork on the top and the image goes over the sides, I just let it drip down like that. I like that look of, like here the paint stopped, but here it dripped over and I let it drip. Down here on the bottom, the paint dripped over. So anyway, when I put my glossy clear coat over this and do 3 or 4 or 5 layers of high gloss varnish, this will make everything pop like it was wet paint again. That's the wonderful part about putting a glossy finish on a painting, is it will make the colors pop, and it'll make all the unevenness of the black where it is like there, like you can see where I swiped my fingers through it, that kind of thing. When you put that glossy coating of, you know, 3 to 5 coats is usually what I do if I want it super shiny. That will hide everything and it'll make it all look really beautiful again. Here's one that I'm getting ready to ship out today. I think I showed it on one of my last videos. This one has probably about 3 coats of high gloss varnish, and you see how shiny it is. And like here's the edges on this one. So on poured paintings, I let the design go over the edges, and you know, I try to touch it up with my fingers with the wet paint, but here's what the edges look like. And on this one, I signed it on the side because I don't know how the client is going to hang it. I don't know if they're going to hang it like this or like this or like that. So I didn't want my signature being upside down or whatever. So that's when I don't know how somebody's going to look at it or hang it, then I will sign on the side of the canvas. Or sometimes I'll do it on a diagonal in a corner if I think that it's going to go, you know, like one direction, that this would make sense where this is going to be kind of the bottom. I would do it at an angle, but typically I sign on the bottom right corner. So this is the DecoArt that I used on that black painting that I just showed you, and it's called Sterling Silver or Argent Silver. and it is more pearly looking than it is silver. Let me find another silver to show you. So here is DecoArt's Extreme Sheen Silver, and here's the Argent Silver or Sterling Silver. So you see the difference? This is a deeper regular silver color. This is the pearly color that it turned out. So that is that. And I think I'm gonna use this one, and then I still have this Martha Stewart Golden Pearl, which is really pretty. It's like a warm pearl color. It's got just a slight golden sheen to it, but it's not real strong gold. So I'm gonna use that with these colors. So I may add a lighter brown to this group, and this will be what I'm using for this. I've got some neon colors, which I will do on the next video, and I'll show you those. This is all from Target. Handmade Modern is the brand. I've never seen it at any other store, so I think it's distributed by Target, so it only is available at Target. What I'm going to do is use these little bathroom cups that are probably 3-ounce cups. Got my craft sticks here. Whoop. Just undid a bundle of them. I get my craft sticks at the dollar store. You get, I don't know, maybe 100 sticks for $1 or something like that. I also have a link in the Amazon link below my video with recommended products, and you can get like a pack of 1,000 for $5 or so. I forget what the price is, but it's a really good price. So I'm going to show you how I am going to mix these up so you can see exactly how I do it. And I know this is boring for some people, and if it's boring then you can always fast forward through it, but if this happens to be the first video that you watch and you want to learn how to do it, then that way you can watch. So this is the Sterling or Argent Silver from DecoArt. It's kind of on the thick side, but and I'm going to do all of my paints 1-to-1 ratio with the Owatrol. So I'm going a little less than 1.5 ounces. So that's probably about 1 ounce of paint. I'll put 1 ounce of Owatrol in it, and then I may have to add water, and I may not. So that's the pearly color. That's really called still silver, but it's not really silver. It's a pale silver. Here's the Golden Pearl from Martha Stewart, which is so pretty. I've had this paint for quite a while. I don't even think that it's made anymore, but it may be. And I know this one will have to have water added to it because it takes a while to get it mixed up, because it goes thicker when you mix it. But it's a beautiful color. This is the Shimmer Aqua. I want this painting to be really relaxing and soothing in color scheme. That's why I chose these colors. I want a kind of beachy, natural, serene colors. I've had a stressful day yesterday with the cat situation, and so I wanted to like just breathe and paint and relax, and this is my God time. This is the light copper. That's about half the bottle that I'm using, because this is a 2-ounce bottle. This is the Pistachio, which is just a satin color. Kind of wanted to use that metallic-y, well, it's actually glittery, goldish color that I bought too, but I am saving it for my mermaid painting. This is called Driftwood, which is just a tannish color. It's almost the color of like a dark liquid makeup, so it's almost like a fleshy brown color. This one is the gray, and that's pretty much probably the darkest color I have right now. And gray is used a lot these days. It's kind of a neutral. I'm not a big gray fan. It's gray kind of reminds me of like a depressing rainy day. So even though gray is used a lot in decorating, I don't like gray that much, so it's going to have less than the other colors. Okay, so I'm going to mix up a little bit deeper color than this. This is DecoArt. I'm probably just going to mix a few colors together. Honey brown. This one is burnt umber. So this one I have to stir up in order to see what color it is. And see, that's probably as deep as I want it. I'm going to put a little bit more of the burnt umber. I've got some Artist Loft Unbleached Titanium. I'm going to add that in there to lighten it just a bit. So I want to add a little bit more burnt umber because that lightened it just a little too much. Make sure whenever you're mixing your paints and adding your pouring medium or anything that you always scrape the sides of your cup to ensure that you get everything mixed in very well. So that's considerably darker. I'm going to add just a little bit more burnt umber. And maybe a drop of black. Let's see what that looks like. The black will neutralize it just a little bit, so that then it'll be kind of between this and this as far as the warmth and the coolness, if that makes sense. This is a warmer, this is a cooler. I like that. So that's that color. So I don't need these, I don't think. I might keep one out. I've got a little bit of white in the cup I'm going to try to finish up, and I've got a big, it's a big yogurt container. It's Artist Loft Flow Acrylic, and it's the white, and so it's in here 50-50 with the Owatrol, and then I added some water to thin it down some. This red squeeze bottle is my water here that I'm going to add to my colors if I need to thin them down any. But what I'm going to do right now is take all of my colors and pour another amount equal to what's in the cups of the Owatrol Easy Flow. So this is going to fill up that cup. That was my fullest cup. This one's going to fill up the whole cup. So what happens when I get to the bottom of a jug, I'll add a little bit of water to it, shake it up, and then I'll add this when I need water to one of these cups. That way you get to use every bit of your pouring medium that you're using, whether it's Owatrol or Floetrol or Liquitex pouring medium or whatever, you're using up everything that you have in that container. Not wasting a single drop. I'm going to speed through this process. So I've got my Owatrol in here. I'm going to stir all these up, and if they are too thick, I will add the water, which is in the red bottle, to get it to the consistency that I want, and I'll show you the last one and show you the consistency of the way it should be. So I'll fast forward through that. Okay, so I have all the colors mixed up. This is just a regular satin gray right here. But I don't know if you can see how it pours off in a steady stream. That is the consistency of what I call like honey. So that is what you're looking for when you mix up, in order to get your paint and medium to mix first. And then if it pours off like that, then you're good. But if it sticks on your stick and it doesn't pour off, then you add your water to it, but you don't want it so runny that it drips like water, because then it's too runny and it's going to be too much water ratio. So these are my colors. I'm going to put them aside. The canvas that I'm going to paint on today is a 12 by 24 canvas, and I'm going to use my 1-to-1 ratio of white acrylic, flow acrylic. So for a 12 by 24 it calls for 10 ounces of paint. So this is the 14-ounce cup. And this is 8, so it's a little bit shy of what I need, so I'm going to put that one back. And so I'll go, you know, 3/4 of this cup will be enough paint to cover the whole canvas. I'm going to do a dirty pour. I'll go ahead and do that first. Okay, and I have not put any silicone in, and I had decided that I would put silicone in. So I'm going to use my Treadmill lubricant very quickly. It's off camera. I'm putting about 3 drops, giving it a few swirls, and that's it. Because these are 3-ounce cups. 3 drops, and a few spins around in the cup. I can't think of the word, stirs. I'm going to skip the gray and the other lighter tan color, and I'm going to only put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 different colors and white. So I'm not going to put it in my white or the 2 brownish tan colors, I think is what I did. I can't remember now. Because you don't want to totally saturate all of your colors with silicone, and less is really better, so I'm not going to put, you know, as much as you think you would want to put into it. I'm going to finish up this little bit that's in a cup of my white. To-go cups that are made out of plastic are great. That have, and you just tape up the hole where the straw goes in. They're great for storing mixed up paint. And also, as always, I'm painting on top of butcher paper, which is fabulous to work with. I hear that it's like freezer paper, but I have never done freezer paper because I can't get a 30-inch roll of freezer paper. I like a, you know, a deep one. So the butcher paper that I use, I just have a new roll that I'm going to be putting on my table after today's pours. It's 30 inches deep and 50 feet long. I got this at Hobby Lobby with my coupon, or you can get it on the Amazon link underneath my videos. And it will not bleed through. It has a shiny side and a dull side. And so it's like 30 inches long. It's really very deep. It covers over half of my table that I work on. It's great for acrylic pouring skins if you want to save your paint for making jewelry or whatever else you might use skins for. It's fabulous for that. So I'm just alternating. Like, I'm not going to put my silver beside my gray because I don't want the gray to overtake the silver, that kind of thing. So after my gray, I'm going to put some white in. And, you know, I've discovered this might be kind of hard to pour out of. I probably need to transfer it into my cup that I have more control over. So when you have it in larger things and you don't think you can control it as well, then pour it into something smaller that's more manageable for you. So now I can pour out of that cup instead of the big jug of yogurt, the yogurt container. I kind of want to finish it out with the silver and the aqua and the green. Hopefully they'll show up a little more than the others, but I don't know. We'll see. So that's in my cup, my dirty pour cup. Put my lid back on, well, don't need to put my lid back on my white paint because I'm going to put white on the canvas. You can also just wet your canvas with the spray bottle. So making sure that there's white around all the edges. And I don't have a lot of white on here. It's very thin. You can kind of see through it. It's not totally even. It doesn't need to be, because when you pour your paint on, that's going to put some weight on it and that will kind of level it out. And I don't necessarily want like a ton of cells, so I don't think I'm going to heat it like right away. I kind of want to see what it will do on its own. I want this to feel very serene and relaxing. So right here I'm kind of missing some browns. So what I'm going to do is pour a little more in my cup. I am going to kind of cross my stick through it a time or two and just come right back over this with it. This area that I dripped from the cup, I'm going to run my finger through it just a bit to kind of get rid of the obviousness of it a little bit. Taking it to those corners and then just coming back this way. You also want to make sure it goes to both ends. And you can also use your finger to help kind of pull it over the edge. Like if you don't want to waste what's on the canvas that you really like the way it looks. You can even scoop up stuff on the end or on the table. Some beautiful paint here. So I'm just letting it go through all the edges. Wipe my fingers off. It's really pretty. I have a little much green there. So I'm going to add some metallic blue. The champagne color, which is like the pearl and golden pearl, and some silver, maybe just a smidge of gray. Kind of stir it just a little. So I'm basically taking just kind of the pattern a little bit and trying to just pour through it, or pour, around it, so that it kind of blends a little bit with what's going on. And I'm going to put a little bit through this brown. Use my scraper there just to take out some of that brownish color that's so strong. Crazy about that, so just gonna squiggle my finger through it to get rid of that line of brown. Just a little bit on my finger to cover this corner. Make sure I have all the edges done. So now I'm gonna do the heat gun. So this is pretty interesting. I don't know if you can see because it's pale colors, but there's lots and lots of little cells. And this is thicker probably because I added paint there, so that's probably going to sell up more as it dries. I was going to kind of pour it off a little bit, but I don't know. The silver came out really pretty because you can see the pearliness of it. When it's dry, I can maybe show a picture better of the metallics or the pearl part of it, which is really, really pretty. The copper showed up a lot. There's gray and there's, you know, the tan colors. The green is not metallic, but the aqua color is, which is really pretty. So you see all those little cells? Now if I had used the heat gun at the beginning, before I tilted it, I would have probably way larger cells, but I kind of wanted it to do its own thing. And it's definitely doing its own thing, which is really cool. I love cells, so I like to see that magic happen. That's the really magical part to me, is watching the cells pop up. So there is this beautiful, serene looking painting. I love the cells, and they're kind of getting bigger as the paint moves. And I probably could have put 1 drop of silicone in each of the cups instead of 3. And if I put 1 drop, I might have had larger cells, because the more silicone you add and the more you stir, the smaller the cells. But these are, you know, some pretty good cells going on. But I could have gotten by with less silicone, I'm sure. So now I have all this beautiful paint here. What I'm trying to do, we'll see if it works. Let's see if I can scoop it up. And over to this sheet protector. And I also have some left in the cup. So definitely, from what I've scraped off the table, it all kind of, the colors are all kind of intermingled and very, very neutral feeling. So I'm just tilting it. So you can see there's cells going on, but the colors are all very close in value, so you don't see a lot of variance. But I'm going to let that dry, and hopefully that'll make something really pretty. What you can do is stir it up. So this is kind of like a tan. What I'll do is I'll add it into my tan color that I already have mixed. So this is the tan color I have mixed already. And that way I'm not wasting my paint. So I still have colors left over from this to do on other pours. The only thing is they're in paper cups, so I'll have to transfer them into something that's plastic so that they don't react with the paper or the wax of the bathroom cups. You know, they have kind of like a waxy coating. So I don't like to, you know, leave my paints in a paper cup. I'll transfer them to plastic. Hopefully, if you liked it, you'll please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and have a great day.